So today we are going to continue from the last class. In the last class we saw different methods of addition of vectors. So I told you there are three laws basically. First one is triangle law, second is parallelogram law, and the third one is polygon law. So these three are the laws that are used for vector addition. Okay, when do we use these laws? I told you in last class that when there is simple, like two vectors are in same direction, this is one vector and this is the another vector, this is 5 unit and this is say 8 unit, so you can simply add them, you will get the resultant as 13 unit. I told you in last class, yeah. But now you will see a different case. In this case, what we are going to talk about, that when two vectors are in different direction, I will assume one vector is like this, let us say it is 4 units, and one vector is like whatever, in whichever direction, and this is say 3 units. Okay, so now in this case, as you can see, these two vectors, they are in different directions. Yeah, this vector is in this direction and this vector is in this direction. So how will you add in this case? In this case you will add by using which law? Using one of these laws. Okay, triangle law or parallelogram or polygon law, it depends. I will show you in detail which law you have to use where. So basically, when do we use these laws? When the vectors are in different direction. Okay, and they are not lying in the same angle. By same angle I mean this vector is going here, this vector is going here. So you cannot do like simple addition or subtraction. Yeah, like I already told you, like one vector is going like this and say one vector is going like this, then you will subtract. If both are in same direction, then you can add. But in this case, you have to use either of these three laws, either of these three laws. So first we will start with triangle law. Okay. So what does the triangle law state? First we will see that. Okay. So the triangle law states that when two vectors, I will assume one vector is like this, okay, and one vector is like this. This is 5 unit, this is 6 unit. Okay, now I will name it A, and this is vector B. Okay, so now as you can see here, these two are in different direction. So what does triangle law state? That if these two vectors form the two sides of the triangle, what do they form? If they form two sides of the triangle, then the third side will give us the resultant vector. Okay. So first of all we have to make a triangle. So in the last class I already told you that you can move any vector parallel to its original position anywhere in the space. I told you in the last class. So I can move this vector. Only thing is you will not change the orientation. What do I mean by orientation? You can't change the angle of the vector. So simply I will move these two vectors like this. So what will be the diagram? The diagram will form like this. So this will come on top of this. So okay. So now you can see the end point of this vector is touching this vector, and then the head is going this way. So this is vector B. So how do we get the resultant vector? The resultant vector will be, okay, one thing more. In triangle law, you can see that this vector, it is the movement is in this side. This vector is, the movement is in this side. So if you look carefully, the direction in which it is trying to rotate, it will be which direction? It will be like this. This is going here and this is going up. So this will also go up. So in which direction this is tending to rotate? This is anti-clockwise direction. Okay, when we join these two vectors. Okay, so the resultant vector, it will be the third side of this triangle. I already told you. But the important thing here is the direction. In which direction will the third vector lie? Because you can see that the direction can be like this also, yeah, or it can be like this also. So which direction will it lie? We will see that in detail. So the answer is that the direction will be this one. The direction will be always the opposite of the direction in which these two vectors are trying to rotate. Okay, so if you see this direction is what? Basically it is arrow is this side, so it will be trying to rotate it clockwise. So this is the triangle law. So whenever the two vectors are acting in the same orientation as I have shown there, then the resultant vector will be given by the third side or the closing side of the triangle in opposite direction. Okay, in opposite direction in comparison to these two vectors. Okay, so this was vector A, this was vector B. So this will be R. What is R? R is the resultant. Okay, so I can write in this way: R, vector R is equal to what? Vector A plus B. Okay, now many of you will have confusion because you are studying this chapter for first time, that just say this one is 5 units, okay, and this one is say 6 units. Okay, so in your mind it will be coming that yes sir told that this one is the third side, so R is equal to A plus B, yeah, so then this should be 11 units. This will come to your mind, yeah, आपके दिमाग में ये आएगा कि ये इसकी वैल्यू क्या होनी चाहिए, 11 units होनी चाहिए. This is absolutely wrong. The answer is not 11 units. I will show you how to find the magnitude. The magnitude is not 11 units. What this basically represents, when I have written A plus B here, what it represents that R is the resultant of A and B. This is just a vector. This is the representation in vector form. Okay. To find the magnitude and direction of the vector, we will do some steps that I will show you here. But the important thing here I am telling you is that you will not simply add them like 5 plus 6. Okay. That is absolutely wrong. To find the resultant vector, we will have to follow some steps that I will show you now. So let's go ahead and find the resultant vector. I already told you there are two important things that define a vector. First one is magnitude. And the second one is, as you must all remember, direction. These two are the most important things. Okay. So to define this resultant vector we have found, we need two things. First one is the magnitude and second one is the direction. Okay. So now we will try and find them. So let's go ahead and find them. So this is our resultant vector R here. Okay. So direction, what does direction mean? Direction means, now this vector this is say x-axis, I will just assume. Okay. This vector R is the resultant. So what does the direction mean here? Direction means basically it is going in this direction. As you can see, which direction is this one? This is basically, which direction is this? This is north-east direction. Okay. So this is the northeast direction. So how will you write it? You need an angle. So I will assume this angle. This angle represents the direction. So I will assume this angle as what? I will assume this angle as alpha. Okay. And this vector I will extend here. Okay. Another thing is that most probably you will know this angle. This angle, let us assume theta. This angle is basically theta. This is the angle between vector A and B. The angle between vector A and B is theta. You will know this angle in the question. Anybody who will give you a question, he will obviously tell you that, say, this vector here is 5 and this vector say here is 6. Okay. So you will be given like this angle is 30 degree. So when in exam you are solving, you will be given the angle. So don't worry about this theta angle. What angle we have to find? This alpha. Alpha is the angle that the resultant vector is making, or you can say it's the direction of the resultant vector. Okay. So let's solve it further. So first I will find the magnitude. Okay. So before finding the magnitude, let's give a name to this triangle. So let us name it ODF. This is ODF. Okay. So what I will do here, I have to see, I already know the value of A and B in the question. Okay, I will assume this is 6. This will be given to you in the exam, don't worry about it. And angle will be also given to you, theta will be also given to you, don't worry about this thing. So you have to find this r value, magnitude of r in term of a and b. So we will try and solve this. Okay, so this is a simple procedure. You will extend this side here, then what you will do, you will draw a perpendicular from point F. Okay, perpendicular you have dropped here, so this is the 90 degree. Okay, and I will give this point the name G. Okay, so now you can see here, sorry, this is B here. Okay, let's see ahead what is happening here. So now you will see the triangle OFG. You know, you can see here in triangle OFG, triangle OFG. Okay, so as you can see, this is a right angle triangle. Okay, you all know the Pythagoras theorem. So Pythagoras theorem states that OF square is equal to what? OG square plus FG square. Okay, OF square is equal to OG square plus GF square. You all know this Pythagoras theorem. Okay, so okay, what is OF? What is OF here? OF is R square, and this is the thing that we have to find here. You all know, I told you we are trying to find the magnitude of R, so R square. Okay, what is OG? OG you can write as OD plus DG. OD plus DG whole square. Okay, and plus GF square. Okay, simple till now. Now we will go forward. So now I told you already, we know two values here. We know A and vector B. They are 5 and 6 respectively. We are assuming they are 5 and 6. Okay, so we already know these two values. So we will try to find everything in term of these two, A and B. Okay, so let's go ahead. What is OD? What is OD? OD is equal to 5 units. Okay, OD is equal to 5 units. Next one is, sorry, I will write it as A, not 5. I will write it as A. It is vector A. Okay, the next one is DG. DG. What will be DG? So as you can see, now look carefully. Now in this triangle, what is this triangle? DGF. In triangle DGF. Okay. Now this is also a right angle triangle. You can all see here. So in this triangle, we know that DF is equal to B. We know that DF is equal to B. Okay, there is no doubt about it. We know that. Okay, so now here we know only one side of the triangle. The rest of the two we have to find. Okay, and also we know the angle theta. Theta is the known value here. So we have to find which value we have to find? DG. How will we find? We will use trigonometry. You have all studied it in 10th standard. So you all know that. What is DG? DG upon DF. What will be DG upon DF? DG upon DF is equal to cos of theta. It is base upon hypotenuse. Base upon hypotenuse is cos theta. So DG will be equal to DF. DF is B. So it will be B cos theta. I hope that is clear. Okay, so we have found out one more value in terms of B and theta, that is DG is equal to B cos theta. Okay, अब last value है हमारी GF. Okay, GF we don't know. Okay, but we can look in this triangle again. In triangle, same triangle, you will go in triangle DFG. You know only one side, but you know theta also. So you will use trigonometry again. So it will be GF upon DF. GF upon DF. That will be equal to sin theta. Perpendicular upon hypotenuse is sin theta. Okay, so you will get GF is equal to DF into sin theta. DF is what? B. So that will be B sin theta. So hence we will find the value of GF. So GF will be B sin theta. Okay, now we have found out all the values. As I told you earlier, we have to find the value of R in terms of A and B. So you can see A plus B cos theta whole square plus B sin theta whole square. There is nothing unknown here. So now we will proceed ahead. Okay, so I will rub this side. So we will solve it further. So this comes out to be R square is equal to A plus B cos theta whole square plus B sin theta. You can all see this. Okay, B square sin square theta, B sin theta whole square. I will open this bracket later on. Okay, so you can see it, no doubt about it. So now we will open the whole squares on both the sides. So this will be A square plus 2AB cos theta, okay, plus B square cos square theta plus B square sin square theta. You can also see A square plus 2AB cos theta plus B square cos theta plus B square sin theta. Okay, let's see if anything is coming common here. You can see that in this equation you can take out B square. Yeah, so this will come out to be A square plus 2AB cos theta plus B square into cos square theta plus sin square theta. Okay, so what is cos square theta plus sin square theta? You all know already, you have studied in 10th standard. That is equal to 1. Okay, so now we will solve it further. Now it is becoming simpler, little bit more simpler. So I will solve it here. So that comes out to be A square plus 2AB cos theta plus B square. This is equal to R square. Okay, we are trying to find out R. And what will be the value of R? That will be equal to under root of A square plus B square plus 2AB cos theta. A square plus B square plus 2AB cos theta. So that is the value of the magnitude of R. Okay, so we had taken the example 5 and 6. Yeah, so we can now solve it. Let's assume that A is equal to 5, B is equal to 6, and I will assume the angle theta is 30 degrees just for sake of convenience. And I will take it 60 degrees. Okay, 60 degrees. Theta is 60 degrees. So now we can just simply put the values here in this formula. What will be the values? 5 square is 25 plus 36 plus 2 into 5 into 6 into cos of 60 is 1 by 2. So you can solve this and you will get the answer. I will not solve it. Okay, I will just show you. It will be 25 plus 36 plus 30. Okay, so that comes out to be 66, 76, 91. Under root 91 will be your answer. That is the value of the resultant vector. Okay, that you can try at your home also. There are many examples you can try, and we will do the numericals that are at the end later on. So now we will find the next thing. First thing I told you that we have to find was the magnitude. Yeah. Now the second thing we are going to find out is the direction. So we will now find the direction. So I will rub all of this. Now we have to find the direction. What does direction mean? Basically, I told you already. It is the angle that the resultant vector is making with the base. Or you can say this is here the x-axis is also lying. with the x-axis, yeah, or with the base. Okay, so we have to find the value of alpha. Okay, so how we will find? Okay, we will see the triangle in triangle OFG. In triangle OFG, tan alpha is equal to what? FG upon OG. Okay, FG upon OG. Okay, so now here what will be the value of FG? We have already found out the value of FG. That will be B sin theta. Okay, and OG you can write as OD plus DG. Okay, so it will be B sin theta upon, what will come here? Instead of OD you can write A, because you remember it was A here. Okay, it will be A here. And what was the value of DG? We found out the value of DG earlier, yeah, you remember? That was B cos theta. So that is equal to tan alpha. What will be alpha then? Alpha will be tan inverse of B sin theta plus A plus B cos theta. So this is the value of alpha. Alpha is the direction. Okay, so that's it in triangle law. Basically you have to find out two things whenever you use this law. They are by the name, firstly you have to find the magnitude, and secondly you have to find the direction in case of all the vectors. Okay, so okay, let's go ahead. This was the triangle law. Okay, now the next topic is properties of vector addition. Okay, so the first property that we will see is commutative law. Okay, what does this law basically states? It states that first you have already read it in mathematics, yeah, you all know 2 plus 3 is equal to 3 plus 2. You can write, there is not a problem, yeah. It is also 5 and this is also 5. The same is this law in vector addition also. P plus Q is equal to Q plus P. Okay, P plus Q, I will write this vector symbol. Vector Q, P plus Q is equal to vector Q plus P. Okay, so you can write this, there is not a problem. Okay, so there is a small verification that is given in your book, how to verify this. So we will see this. So let us assume this here is a, okay, these two are vector here, P and vector Q. Okay, just recently we studied triangle law. So which direction they are rotating? In this direction. This direction is what? Anti-clockwise. So resultant vector will be the third side, you already know, but that will be in which direction? It will be clockwise. So the vector will come like this. This is the what? Resultant vector R, and this is equal to Q plus P. Sorry, P plus Q. Okay, now what we will do, we will simply move this vector, we will put the same vector of same magnitude on this point, Okay, this is same, exactly at same angle, everything is same, the name is also same, Q, and we will put another vector here. It is also of the same magnitude, it's just like a parallelogram. Okay, parallelogram, to the parallel sides are same, right? So these two sides are same and this side is also same. Okay, this is P. So now you can see here the resultant of these two vectors, what will be that? it will be the, you can see this here is a triangle being formed. Okay, these are the two sides of the triangle, and this third side, it will be the third, this vector r will form the third side automatically. So as you can see, the resultant of this vector, these two vector is also r, and the resultant of these two vector is also r, the same side, yeah, because you can see this, there is only one side here. So the answer of these two is this one, the same value, that is r. So hence you can say that this communicative law is verified from this simple example. Okay, so this was your communicative law in vector addition. Next law is the associative law. Okay, now we will see this one in detail. So as you all know, in associative law, I will give you one example. 2 plus 3 bracket plus 4 is equal to, you can write 2 plus 3 plus 4. Okay, 2 plus 3 plus 4, 2 plus 3 is in bracket, and here 3 plus 4 is in bracket. But when you open the brackets and add, the answer will be 2 plus 3 is 5, 5 plus 4 is 9. Here also it will be 9. So 9 is equal to 9. You all know that. Okay. So same is the rule for the vector addition also. So you can say that vector A plus vector B is equal to vector A plus B plus C. Okay, so what is this? This is the associative law. Okay, so we will all solve this one with a simple example. Okay, let us assume we will assume this right here is a vector A. Okay, now this right here is a vector B. Okay, now you all can see here, these two are the two sides of a triangle. Okay, in which direction they are trying to rotate? Clockwise direction. Okay, so but where will be the resultant? The resultant will be in anti-clockwise direction. That will be here. Okay, this vector will be given by r, you can say, or I will say represent this by A plus B, because it represents the resultant of A and B. Okay, this you can write as A plus B. Okay, now I will make one more vector here. What is this one? This is, I will say, vector C. Okay, so now you forget about this triangle. Now look at this triangle. Now look at this triangle. You already know the two sides. Okay, now what will be the third side? You can join these two, because this will form a triangle. And what will be the direction? These two vectors, this one is going here and this one is going here, so their direction is what? Clockwise. So in which direction will the resultant vector will be? In this direction. So you will make a side here, and what will this represent? Vector A plus B plus vector C, or you can write it simply as vector R. It is basically resultant of this and this. Okay, now we got the answer for this we got the answer R. Okay, this value we got. Okay, now we will look ahead. Okay, now in next case we have A plus vector B plus C. Okay, resultant of that B plus C is in brackets, so that means we have to find the resultant of B plus C. So let us, this vector A is here. Okay, now we will look at vector B and vector C. So B plus C, what will be the resultant of B plus C? You know already, according to triangle law you can find. So that will be obviously in this direction. Okay, so this will be vector B plus C. Okay, and now A plus B plus C. You already know, you can see here, this vector A and this is B plus C. So what will be the resultant? In same direction. Okay, so again you will get the answer same here. A plus vector B plus vector C. So the answer came same. Okay, the value is same. So what does it mean? This is true. So you can write here hence verified. So this was your associative law. Okay, so two important laws are there of vector addition. These you have already studied them: communicative and associative. Okay, so now we'll go ahead and draw this. Okay, next law is polygon law. Okay, this polygon law is basically simply a, now all this parallelogram also and this triangle law also, all are the parallelogram and polygon law both are the extension of the triangle law we have studied now. Okay, so where do we use polygon law? When we have to add two or more vectors. Okay, two or more vectors in different directions. Then we use the polygon law. Okay, I will give you an example. According to polygon law, if this here is one side, okay, we'll see one in this. So as you can see here, there are how many vectors here? A, B, C, D. So 1, 2, 3, 4 vectors are there. Okay, so we have to find the resultant of these 4 vectors. So which law you will use? You will use the polygon law. What does the polygon law state? It states that the resultant of all these 4 vectors will be the closing side of this polygon in opposite direction. What does it mean? I will show you a diagram. The closing side. What will be the closing side? This one. Am I right? Okay. This one will be the closing side and it will be in which direction? Opposite direction. So what does it mean by opposite direction? All these sides, which direction they are trying to rotate? You all can imagine that. Which direction is this? Anti-clockwise. So now you will make the arrow in this direction. So this means that it is trying to rotate in clockwise direction. This is the opposite direction. Okay, and this vector is the resultant vector, which is equal to A plus B plus C plus D. Now what does this A plus B plus C plus D indicate? It is basically the method of representation of vector form. It basically indicates that the resultant is this of all these 4 vectors. This basically indicates that. Okay, so okay, now we will see that how did it come up? How did we get this answer? We will try and find this out. Okay, so it's quite simple. I told you it is an extension of triangle law. I told you earlier. So let us see first 2 sides, A and B, vector A and B. Okay, what will be the vector? Forget this now. For now, forget this. Only look at this and this. These 2 sides. Now these are the 2 sides of a triangle. You all know that. Okay. Now what will be the resultant of these 2 vectors? It will be in this direction. That will be represented by the 3rd side. Okay, closing side of this triangle, and it will be given by what? A plus B. This is given by A plus B. This side is given by A plus B. Now you forget these 2. Forget A and B. Forget these 2 because already A plus B is representing these 2. So we don't need to remember these 2. Now look here. This vector A plus B here plus vector C. You can see here A plus B and vector C. So these are the 2 sides of a triangle. Okay. So now you can make the 3rd side here. So I will make the 3rd side. What will be the 3rd side? It will come in this direction. And what will this third side represent? A plus B plus C. Okay, A plus B plus C. Now look, now forget all these the other things I have written here, because this vector side is representing all these vectors that are present here. So now, what will be the resultant of this vector and this vector? That will be automatically this last closing side, and that is how the polygon law came into existence. So now what will be the resultant of these two? This and this third side, and what will be the value of this third side? That will be R is equal to A plus B plus C plus D. Okay, so that is how your polygon law equation is derived. Okay, so this is your polygon law. So now we will see the last law, that is the parallelogram law. It's quite simple, nothing complicated. Okay, so your last law is the law of parallelogram. Okay, so when do we use parallelogram law? Okay, so first most important thing is, first of all, we use parallelogram also for addition of two vectors only. It's quite similar to triangle law also. Okay, so parallelogram law, addition of two vectors only. This one is also just an extension of triangle law, nothing special in this one also. Okay, we will see how it is an extension of triangle law. So, okay, it is also for addition of two vectors only, but the condition here is both vectors originate from same point. From the same point. What does this mean? Now I will show you with the help of a diagram. Say this is a vector A, and this is a vector B. Vector A, vector B. Okay, so what does parallelogram law state? First of all, it is used to add two vectors. So this is vector A, this is vector B. They should originate from same point. What does it mean? Both are starting from the same point O. Both are starting from the same point. Okay, so what does the exact wordings of the parallelogram law state? That when two vectors originate from the same point, then their resultant is given by the diagonal so formed by this diagonal of the parallelogram formed by these two sides of the formed by these two vectors. Okay, I will show you what does this mean. Basically, I said that the parallelogram formed by these two vectors. So how will the parallelogram be formed? I will simply make one parallel side here in dotted. I will show it dotted because it doesn't exist. Okay, it's just imaginary, it's not real. So I will make it dotted, and another I will make parallel to this one. Okay, so this vector here and this vector here, I will name, because this is also the parallel and exact same length, I will name this as B, and I will name this one as A. So what does the parallelogram law say? This, you will form this imaginary two sides that are equal to B and A and B. Okay, and then you will make the diagonal. Okay, so what does this diagonal indicate? This diagonal indicates the resultant, that will be equal to A plus B. ओके, अब ये A प्लस बी आया कैसे, अब हम ये सब देखेंगे और हम इसका मैग्नीट्यूड भी निकालेंगे, मैग्नीट्यूड कैसे निकालते हैं इसका, ठीक है, वी विल सी ऑल दैट इन डिटेल नाउ. सो इंपॉर्टेंट थिंग इज डेफिनेशन ऑफ पैरेललोग्राम लॉ. It's used to add for addition of two vectors, or both the vectors originate from the same point O, and the resultant is given by the diagonal of the parallelogram formed by these two vectors. Okay, so now we will see this one in detail. It's quite simple, nothing complicated, because we have already seen triangle law, so we will find it quite easy. So first of all, we will see one simple thing. I told you that it is an extension of triangle law earlier. Yeah, so we will see how it is an extension of triangle law. So this one is O. I will put some names here. This is D, this is E, and this is F. So O, D, E, F. Okay. These are the 4 points of the parallelogram. Okay. So now you will see this triangle in triangle O, E, D. In triangle OED. Okay. Now you know already. Now you can see in triangle OED. Can you apply triangle law? Can you or not? We have studied earlier. You see OD here, it is represented by B, and DE here is represented by A. Okay. So what is their orientation? It is anti-clockwise. And if I join them in opposite direction, what will I get? I will get the resultant vector. Yes, and this will be equal to B plus A or B plus A. You can write it, yes, or you can write it as A plus B. I have showed you the associative law. Yeah, 2 plus 3 is equal to 3 plus 2. I told you already. Or I can write it as R is equal to A plus B. So hence this is verified. This is how this came out. You must have thought it why this was R is equal to A plus B. So this was basically an extension of triangle only. The triangle will be formed here, and in this triangle you can see that OD plus DE is equal to what? OE. तो अब यहाँ पे आएगा B वेक्टर प्लस A वेक्टर is equal to R वेक्टर. ठीक है. So this is your parallelogram. Why they can ask you in the exam that show that the triangle law, the parallelogram, how the parallelogram law is the extension of triangle law. So you have to show this derivation here. It's quite simple and nothing complicated. Okay. Now as I told you before, we have to do 2 things here also. We have to find out 2 things here, namely magnitude and direction. So it is exactly same as what we studied in the triangle law. Okay. So first of all, I will assume this makes an angle alpha here. Okay. The resultant vector makes an angle alpha, and the angle between the 2 vectors A and B, I will assume it as theta. Okay. Okay. One thing you should all remember, that the angle between the 2 vectors, it is always between the tails. Okay, always between the tail. What is the tail of the vector? This and this. These 2 parts are the tail, and this is the head. I told you in the last class. So angle is always measured between the tails. Okay, never you will measure the angle between head or tail or head or head. It's always measured between these 2. Okay, so we will see it ahead. We will go ahead. So the angle between the 2 vectors is A and B is theta, and the resultant is making an angle of what? Alpha. Okay. So now it's the same procedure we saw in the triangle law. First of all, I will extend this side and I will draw a perpendicular from here. It's a fixed procedure. It's 90 degree. Okay. And here I will name this as H. I will name this as point as H. Okay, now in this triangle, what are the known things? One thing is that this angle, what will be this angle? This angle is theta. This angle, so this angle will be also theta. Obvious, that is obvious. Okay, nothing complicated in it. So we have to find out the value of resultant. So now we will see. I will not do now everything in detail because it's exactly the same what we did in the triangle law. Okay, so we will go a little bit faster. So in triangle OEH, OE square according to Pythagoras theorem is equal to OH square plus HE square. Okay. So one thing I will tell you again here. You know what values, you know A and B. Okay. You also know the value of theta. because in the question they will give you that these are the two vectors and the angle between them will be also given to you. Only thing unknown is r and alpha. So I will find the answer in what form? I will find the answer in form of a, b and theta. Okay, so let's continue this one. So OE square is equal to r square. Okay, what will be the value of OH? OH you can write as OD plus DH whole square plus HE square. I will write it same. Okay, now you all know what is OD. OD is equal to vector B. Okay, now we have to find the value of DH. DH we don't know, so we will find it by trigonometry. So in triangle DEH, DH upon DE is equal to cos theta. Okay, now here DH will be DE cos theta. And what is the value of DE? The value of DE is A. So this one will be A cos theta. A cos theta. Okay. So you will write here A cos theta. Okay. What will be the value of HE? Same. In triangle DEH, HE upon DE is equal to sin theta. Okay, so HE will be equal to DE sin theta. This will be equal to DE. What is the value of DE? A. This will be equal to A sin theta. Okay, so that is clear to you. The value of HE is A sin theta and DH is A cos theta. I will substitute them over here. Okay, so it will be A sin theta. Okay, so let's go ahead and continue with the derivation. So I will rub this side. So I will substitute the values and write in here r square is equal to b square plus a cos theta. The square we will open later. So b plus a cos theta whole square. Okay, plus a sin theta. Okay, I hope that is clear. So now we will simply open the whole square. Now it is the same thing that we saw in the triangle law. Yeah? I forgot one term here. Also what will come here? I forgot to write that 2AB cos theta. Okay, so now here you can take out a square. So a square plus what will come in the bracket, cos square theta plus sin square theta, that is equal to 1. So I will not write anything here, plus 2AB cos theta. Okay, so in other words you can write resultant as under root of b square plus a square cos. So you can see the result is same, yeah, nothing complicated in this. So this was your magnitude. Okay, the result is same as the one you saw in the triangle law. Okay, so now the next thing we are going to find is the value of alpha. So it's the same thing here again. In triangle OEH, okay, EH upon HO is equal to tan alpha. Okay, and you can write EH as we found out already. EH or HE, it will be A sin theta. And what will be the value of HO? HO you can write as OD plus DH equal to tan alpha. Okay, so tan alpha will be what? A sin theta upon what will be the value of OD? You know it already, B. DH is A cos theta. So this is the value of tan alpha.